Okay, so we're gonna do some new consultant training, and I decided to start doing this way because we have so many people across the country now, and schedules don't always line up. So we're going to go ahead and just do it on here. My plan is to do this once a month at the end of every month, and the link should be available to you afterwards as well. So I'm hoping to get this done in an hour and a half. New consultant training used to be a lot longer, but I'm going to try to go as quickly and efficiently as I can. So I hope you guys printed off this new consultant training packet. It is on my website, charlottegoodykuntz.com, under new consultant training. Go ahead and print that off or pull it up if you haven't, and go ahead and get that. And what we're going to do is we're going to just start from the top. So the first thing we want to do, and if you are watching me, I see there's a few of you on, like text me if you can't hear me, okay, or box me, because I need to know if it's not working. But hopefully it is. If you see my mouth moving and you hear no voice, there's a problem. So we're going to do booking first. So for booking, so I don't know who's on or where you are in your business, but the first thing is booking. And we're going to talk about 100 no's. So that when you first start booking, we always want yeses. We always want to know what the next yes is, who's going to say yes to us. And sometimes we can get really discouraged when we hear no's all the time. So we're going to switch our brain, and we're going to do a little mind trick, and we're going to do 100 no's instead. And instead of being sad about a no, we're going to get excited about a no. And we're going to be really excited about having a no. And so what we're going to do is, on this packet, every time you get a no, whether you're a brand new consultant or you're a seasoned consultant watching this, and you want to refresh, you're going to, every time someone says a no to having a pampering session with you or booking with you, you're going to cross it off. And we're going to get excited about no's, because when someone says no instead, then we are going to get excited and try to fill up our sheet of no's. And the logic in that is that the more no's you have, the yeses are among the no's. So you will get yeses in there, but sometimes we can just get too discouraged in doing that. So that's how we're going to switch our brain. And then so for referrals, you're going to start with people you know first. So you want to start with your family and your friends, because they love you and they're going to support you. And so you want to start with your family and friends. And in here is a Power Start script. And this Power Start script is for more people that you know. In the second page here. And so the keys to booking is, when you book, you want to book the person individually as a facial first, and then you want to switch it and then turn it into a party. And so it's really important that you get these words down. And once you have it mastered, once you have a script mastered, you honestly just use the same script over and over. I've been doing this for over 2.5 years, and I still use the same script as I started, and haven't really changed it unless I thought that it wasn't working anymore, but it's always worked. So that's what I train on, and that's what I teach. And so real quick, if this isn't in front of you, I'm going to kind of just point out a few things in this script that are important. The first one is to say her name. You want to say her name. You want to make her feel important. And then you're going to say, I have a huge goal that I'm working on. So you want to say their name. You want to say a goal that you're working on, because women love to help other women with their goals. It's a lot more fun when you know that you're helping another woman with her goal versus just that you may need her. And then you're going to say, I need to borrow your face to get an opinion of our product. That's all you're doing. That's all she's doing, is getting an opinion of our product. Don't get caught up in the beginning of trying to make all these sales and worrying about, who would I sell to, because I don't know who has the money. That is not what we're more about. We're more about the relationships. And the sales naturally will come with that. But when you focus on just getting sales, you're going to really miss it and miss what it's about. And what we're trying to promote is more borrowing your face than promoting just getting sales. And so your family and friends want to support you, and they will eventually buy something. They will buy something from you. And the logic is, our products are good products. Once they've tried them, they're going to want to buy them. So we've got their name, we've got the goal, we want to borrow their face. And you always want to say your goal is 30 faces this month, always. Even if it's maybe not quite 30, or you're really scared to do 30, you're like, I don't think I'm going to do 30, just say 30. Because it's a nice round number, and that kind of works out to one face a day. People can logically grasp onto that. And then you always want to ask a question. So this script in here says, I do my appointments on weeknights or weekends. What works best for you? So you always want to give her 2 options. You don't want to give her more than that. A confused mind does nothing. And so you want to be able to look at your schedule and know what you have ready for booking. And then you go from there, and you always end it in a question. So if she says weeknights or weekends, she says weekends work better. You're like, great. And then you go from there, and you're going to say, I have Saturday night open or Friday night open, whatever. You just want to keep narrowing it down to get down to a date. And you will eventually have someone say, you know what, I'm going to get back to you on that. And that's great, but the chances of her actually getting back to you are 0. And so we actually want to just set a tentative date instead. So go ahead and set a tentative date for her and kind of look at your schedule and just say, we're going to just go ahead and set a tentative date. And then when you get home, you can check your schedule and let me know. Or I'll follow up with you in a couple of days to see if that date still works. And sometimes I just say, you know, I book up really fast. And so we're going to set a date and just see what happens. And then turning the facial into a party. So we've got to book her first on her own. And then once you turn it into a party, you just say a fun thing about your appointment is that you can bring girlfriends. Or I say, you know, if you bring 3 friends, you get a travel roll-up bag for free, which is $35 value. And so that'll turn it into a party. And then you want to coach your hostess, and coaching your hostess is really, really important. And what I do is I ask her just a few basic questions, such as what's her skin type? Is it normal, dry, or combo to oily? So that you can have her skincare and her tray ready when she comes to the appointment, if it's at the studio, or if you're meeting at her house, so you know what to do right when you get there and you don't have to worry about asking all these questions. You then ask her what's something on your skin that you're want to work on or take care of and excited to take care of. And then you, because you want to give her a product idea to be excited about. So when she says, oh, my pores, I want to work on my pores, or I have trouble with acne, you tell her a product that we have that she's going to be trying, so she gets excited about it, and she's getting excited about trying the product because it makes her want to come, makes her want to hold the appointment. And then you want to ask, like if they have allergies. It's really important to know. A lot of people nowadays have allergies to certain products, or to if they have celiac disease, or if they have gluten intolerance or something. You want to know that ahead of time so that you can make sure you do your research before. I had an appointment kind of recently, and she failed to let me know that she had allergies. And so it made the appointment very weird, because I had to go through and look at the products as she tried each one, made the appointment last a lot longer, and I felt really under-equipped and really frustrated. So you want to make sure that you are asking these questions, and if they fail to tell you, obviously it's not your fault. But you want to try to be as prepared as possible. And so common allergies are, some people are allergic to obviously gluten things. It's a big thing right now. And you just want to hear that. And if they say, hey, we're allergic to this, then you actually want to bring the botanicals line instead. And then you're going to say, if you give, what I say next is you can go from here and use the script in this packet, or what I say is, and so I say the 3 friends, and I say, if you can give me the names and numbers of the ladies that are going to be joining you in the next 48 hours, you get a free mineral eyeshadow, or you can say you can get a free lip gloss. And that gives them the incentive to want to give you the names and numbers back of people. And then you ask them the same questions of the guests of the hostess that are coming. And so a few key things is you never want to call the appointment a party, because a party just implies like too much work, and it's like it's going to be way too busy. And so you want to just call it an appointment or a pampering session, and not really try to use the word party, even though our goal is to have a party technically, which is a hostess and 2 to 3 guests is always our goal. And then so you've got her coached and she's ready to go, and you want to say, especially when it's going to be in her home, on my website I have a hostess packet ready, and you can go and print all the stuff off and mail it to her, because it will help her keep the appointment as well. So once you book it, you want to go and you want to put this hostess packet together. It's actually wise to have maybe like 30 packets already to go. You put her name on it, put her address on it, and you send it out. That day or the next day, she has it in her hand. She's excited. She's looking at it. And what goes in that hostess packet is all on my website. And on there is tips for having a successful appointment. Simple things like having refreshments and having those refreshments afterwards. Alcohol. We try to have alcohol at the very end or after our skincare, because alcohol will actually change the color of our skin, and we don't want to match our foundation wrong. That's the big thing. We talk about our little ones. We love our children. A lot of us are mommies, but we don't want those kiddos at our appointments. We actually lose about $100 in sales when we have kids at appointments. So It's all these. It's a fact sheet. It says like Charlotte's tips for successful appointment, and it's there. And it's a lot easier way for some of us who have maybe a trouble saying don't have your kids there. It just says it in a really nice way. You could literally read right off of that tip script when you talk to her on the phone. So a lot of this is done also on the phone, and we can just text it because there are so many tech things that we do now. A great app to download is PicCollage, and you can actually make all this stuff into a little collage and just text her a flyer. Okay, so once you have our guest list, then you have more committed people coming, and then you just keep coaching her from there, making sure she has any questions. So this is for people you know and you don't know. And then there's the referral script in this packet. So this is how I book, and you don't have to book it this way. This does it a little bit different. This is more when people used to actually pick up their phones. Nowadays, people really don't like to pick up their phones. A lot of people do it on texting. So when I text, I have a sheet of referrals, and I am a really busy person. And as most of you know, I have another job as a counselor. And I really like my family time. I really like my flexibility. And so I just have a really detailed schedule. And I'll get more into that time management and schedule here in a little bit as well. So what I do is I book on Sunday nights around 7. I text people first, and I send them this text. Let me find it and read it to you just so you can hear the words. It'll say like, well, let me try another one. 1 second. Okay, so we'll see if this works. Sorry, my computer is a little old, and so it doesn't like to stream sometimes. So we'll see if this works. If it cuts out again, I'm just going to move this to Voxer, and I'll try again for next month to try to get this figured out. So, so basically, I was trying to find you a referral script here. And so I say on my first script to someone I don't know, you got those list referrals, say, hi, Alice, this is Charlotte. I know you have no idea who I am. I'm actually a friend of Susie Q's. I'm her Mary Kay consultant, and the other day we got together and had a really fun pampering session. It was super laid back and tons of fun. During her session, she was able to give away a gift certificate and a free pampering session to a friend of hers, and she thought of you. Do Tuesdays or Wednesdays work, or Saturdays? That's when I do my appointments, so that's what I offer. So then I go from there. And then that's why I do that texting first. 48 hours later, I call them and I just kind of say, hey girl, I tried calling you a few days ago. I know your friend so-and-so. Just calling to see if you want to take advantage of this free pampering session. At that pampering session, you'll learn about skincare and color while trying our products. So something that's laid back and fun. Give me a call back or text back. So it's basically what I say 48 hours later after I text. And then the next day, 24 hours later after I do the phone call, I text one more time and I say, hey, I left you a voicemail the other day. I just wanted to reach out one more time and see if you were interested to take advantage of this free pampering session. I don't want to seem like I'm bugging you, so I won't be contacting you again, but please let me know if you're interested. And that just gives them that permission that, hey, I'm not going to keep doing this if you don't want this, but let me know. That kind of closes the door for you. So after the third time, if they haven't answered, they get crossed off my list, but it does take three times to get people to answer. And so don't be hesitant in that, and just realize that persistence will pay off. And just trust the script and trust the process, because I've gotten texts back the third time so many times. People are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I meant to text you. And if they don't want to hear from me, they just ignore my text again. So make sure you are doing it 3 times. That is kind of what it takes now. And that phone call in the middle is really important, because we want to make sure they hear our voices and that we're real people. So that's really important. Okay, and then there's that pre-profiling script with what I had told you about those 3 questions that I had asked about what they want to try, their allergies, that kind of thing. So that's a little bit about booking. I mean, your goal is to always book as many as you can. And remember to not call it a party, call it an appointment or a pampering session. And get in the habit of when you want to book. Like I said, like I do mine Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, and Wednesday nights. And get in the habit and a routine, so it's just always happening. And let me tell you a secret, no one is going to love booking. No one comes to a point where like, I just love booking. We just know that doesn't happen. So we've got to learn how to work regardless of how we're feeling, and just work anyway, because it will pay off. Okay, so the next one is your skincare class outline. Again, this is in that packet. So you're going to set up, you could try to get there like 15 minutes early. You have an iStory. An iStory, what you'll hear about in Mary Kay is that means it gives a blurb of who you are in 30 seconds to a minute. Not 30 minutes. It's in the very beginning of your appointments, and you just say who you are, how long you've been building your business, and how Mary Kay has impacted you. Your iStory is really important. It gets people excited. It gets people believing in you. They realize you're a real person, and they believe in something bigger. So my iStory goes something like this. Hi, my name is Charlotte. I'm a sales director with Mary Kay, and I've been building my business for a little over 2.5 years. When I started my Mary Kay business, I was newly married. I was in grad school full-time, and I was working at a daycare about 27 hours a week. And a couple months later, the daycare that I was working at slowly cut my hours, and all of a sudden I didn't have a job anymore. And when I first started Mary Kay, my only plan was to use the discount and get 50% off my products and to do nothing else with it. Well, that changed after the daycare. And I decided to give Mary Kay a real chance. I worked about 8 to 10 hours a week consistently, and I brought in almost a full-time income for me and my husband. And then from there, my business grew. A few months later, I became a sales director, which is the top 2% of the company. My income tripled, and we earned our first free car a couple months after that. And then this past September, we just finished earning our second free car, and we're working on finishing our pink Cadillac. So that is my journey with Mary Kay, and I do this 20 hours a week, and then the other 20 hours a week, I'm a counselor, and I work with victims of human trafficking. And my dream is to build, have these two merge and become a national sales director, and use the resources that come with that to build my own human trafficking homes in Columbus, so that we can house more victims. That's my iStory. Okay, it took maybe like a minute at most. I didn't time myself, but it wasn't long. It gives a little blurb. They get to see you, get to see your heart. So work on your iStory, perfect it, type it out, practice it. This is a really key part of your first part of your appointment. At your appointment, it's your first appointment, you only want to do a quick touch of color. You don't want to spend all this time on color because you want to have them for their second appointment. Our goal is to always have 2 appointments out of our customers so we get to know them, and that's a layering process, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Okay, so skincare, we do skincare really fast. And that I can teach on like individually if you don't know how to set up your tray. But you definitely basically are doing the Miracle Set, the Firming Eye Cream, and the foundation primer, and the satin lips, and then a CC cream. That's what goes in the tray. If you're not coming to studio, you can honestly do it in any order you want. Like you can squirt them in the tray. That makes the most sense to you when you're talking. When you come to studio, it's your cleanser, your day solution, night solution, moisturizer, Firming Eye Cream, foundation primer, 1 through 6 in that order. And we do our satin lips, and then we do our CC cream. That's like their first appointment. Then they also try on the mascara real fast, and they do like lips. They do lipstick or lip gloss real fast. So this is important for their first appointment. And then the hostess gets a little bit more. So the hostess, you want to maybe play with a little bit more color for her eyes with that, and do kind of a little bit more for her. But again, for their second appointment is when you want to focus on more color because you want to get them on their skincare and have good skincare first. And then from there, you want to say that this is their first or their second appointments multiple times so that when you go to ask for their second appointment at the end, they're not like, what is this woman talking about? Satin lips is an important part of your step because it gets you your referrals. And when you do referrals, there's a few different referral sheets in here in this packet. There's this one that has like the list, and then there's this Beauty of Friendship one. The Beauty of Friendship is good for when you have like one person there. But otherwise, you want to have as many spaces as possible because when you have as many spaces, the more spaces they'll fill up. I don't like the ones on the profile cards because there's 7 slots for names and numbers, and they're going to give you like 2. But when you have one with 20 spots, they're going to give you like 7 or 10 of them. And my rule is when you fill up half of this sheet, you fill up 10 names and numbers, you get a half off color item. So it gives them a little incentive to give you more names and numbers. And this is how we're growing our business. So you want your referrals. And how I ask for them. Some people are a little bit hesitant on how to ask for them. I just say, okay, after you have your mask on, we're going to play a quick game. So they put the mask on, their lips, it needs to dry. And they're going to say, okay, grab your phone for this next game. And I say, okay, now I'm going to hand out these sheets. And then I'm going to say, all right, so you're going to think of anyone who has skin. And I laugh. And I say, you want to write down anyone that you want to pass on a pampering session to. So the only rules is they have to live within an hour of here. They have to be at least 18 or older, and they have to be fun just like you. So then I tell them, if I write down 10 names and numbers, then you do get a half off color item. They say, ready, set, go. They have a little challenge. Whoever has the most gets tickets. So you want to have tickets ready because these tickets get the audience involved. You ask questions, and then you have them answer questions, and they get tickets. So whoever has the most tickets gets a prize at the end. So that is why satin lips is so important, and that's why we do referrals. And then from there, you do your quick little touch of color, and then at the end you do some compliments. So you have like the girls turn to each other and say what they like about each other. And whatever the girlfriend likes is usually what she's going to buy, so this is also important. And the marketing purse game is something that's important. It's also something that we just recently changed, and I'll show you what it looks like. All this stuff is on my website, but we just changed it to these sheets for the purse game. We used to play Mrs. Cab. I've just recently changed this, and we're playing whatever you want these initials to be, but the point of the purse game is to tell about the business. And so you're going to say, I'm going to put your purses on your laps, and we're going to play a game. The first thing that you're going to do is, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a letter, and you find something in your purse that starts with a letter and pull that out, and that is going to be how we play our purse game. Whoever has it out first gets a ticket. So I say P now, it's like a penny or whatever else they can find, and I say C. C is challenge and car on here. S is self-confidence, and you can literally read straight from this, especially once your first few appointments, and especially for all my seasoned consultants, we just changed this. So just read right from here. It's okay if you do. And then you'll have them fill this bottom part out, and I say to fill this out, you get entered to win a free designer handbag, and that gets them to fill it out. On this sheet, you find 2 very important questions at the bottom, number 5 and number 6. You get their number of on a scale of 1 to 10 if they're ever going to do this business, and then you get what would overcome that to become a 10. And this is important because it helps us in our follow-up and when we do calls. So here's what the most important part of your skincare is: your classes, your appointment, your pampering session, whatever you want to call it, is the roll-up bag close and your individual consultation. The roll-up bag close is you're going to hold up a roll-up bag filled with products. It could be even the products you're demoing it, but you want to have it full. You're going to hold it up and you're going to show them the set sheet, and you're going to say, okay, we're like Sam's Club or Costco. If you buy in bulk, you save. So we have 2 choices for you. We have a beginner's bag and a pro bag. And a pro bag is like I want everything Mary Kay in the whole wide world. That's a $2.99 value, and we can do payment plans to break that up for you. That's 7 of your favorite sets. You get the roll-up bag for free. If you want the pro bag, the beginner's bag, then that's 4 of your favorite sets, and you get the roll-up bag for free. And we can do payment plans with that as well. It's a $199 value. So you're saving over $100 doing it that way, or the pro bag, you're saving over $200. This is really important. You don't ever want to say the words order, purchase, dollar amount. You just say $2.99 value, and just leave it there. And so then you explain, so they are going to flip their profile cards over. On the back on number 9 is their wish list, and they're going to write down their 4 favorite sets. You're going to say, okay, write down your 4 favorite sets. And these are just like if your fairy godmother was coming to drop off the roll bag of your dreams, what would you want in there? They're going to write down their favorite sets. This is going to lead you into your individual close. At the end of an appointment, you meet with everybody one-on-one, because you don't want to do sales in front of other people, because if you have a Debbie Downer in the group, she will